Being a dentist can be amazingly awesome. It can also be incredibly annoying. This is Paul, Dr. Nacho Goodman, dental practice owner, founder of Dental Nachos and Dentist Job Connect. And we have a fantastic Talking Nacho show for you. Our sponsors sharing how they help you do three things that are so important to your success: increase success, decrease stress, and reduce the number of times you feel like crying inside a day. Studies show the number of times you feel like crying inside a day as a dentist is the measure of your happiness level. Before we get started, I want to share that Dentist Job Connect has so many amazing open positions. We can bring up our code to share with our audience that they can text higher to 215-798-9897. Text higher to 215-798-9897 to learn about our open positions and how you can advertise your associate position to share in the joy of full contact arts and crafts on patients who don't really want to be there. That's pretty much what dentisting is, through the power of Dentist Job Connect. I'm ready for my first guest when you guys are ready to bring them up. I have the awesome Mary Fisher Day. So Mary, you've been on the show before, but I'm going to ask everyone here, who are you and what do you do to help dentists increase success and decrease stress?
It would hurt. It would really help if I unmuted myself, right?
Well, Mary, I'm so convinced of my own incompetence. I thought I did something to my own computer. So don't worry. I was worried that was me. So
it's all me. It's all me. Fighting allergies, folks. So this isn't my normal voice. This is my, I guess, on-camera voice today because I'm much quieter at home today because of fighting these allergies. So I own the dental business. It's a practice management group formerly that now we do practice transition is our main focus. I did the pivot in 2019 to focus on practice transitions because I realized after working in practice management and transitions together for years that dentists are underrepresented and underprepared when they buy or sell a practice. And I'm seeing it more so with buying.
And honestly, I want to share, Mary, it's the biggest decision of a dentist's career to buy a practice, and people make arguments of, whether it's the biggest decision of their life. And I say this in the most genuine way as someone who sells practices. I will show up at a practice for a 7-year-old dentist and they've had multiple houses and multiple spouses and just one practice. So I think you can make it the biggest decision of a dentist's life, but let's just stick with career for the time being. And there's just not enough good information out there. Dental school doesn't cover this. And there's a lot of opportunities for crying inside with buyers. What are some of the things lack of awareness causes so many problems. And I say, talk to Mary before you put an LOI in. Talk to Mary before you get someone all worked up. You're going to buy their practice. What are some of these lack of awareness things that you see from buyers? Even if they're good intention, they're just not aware of these things.
Well, they're just not aware of who all they need to surround themselves with. Yeah. Most aren't aware that a buyer's representative even exists, okay, right. Quite frankly. And they're learning more about it. Until recently, didn't even realize how important it was for dental-specific CPA and dental-specific attorney to be on your team. So it's lack of awareness. It's lack of education in dental school, if that's what they should do. Somebody needs to be preparing dentists who want to own practices for what they need to do.
And you're working with an existing Nacho client who was so happy to have met you, because this is a decision that, even if it goes well, produces so much anxiety. This is a decision that produces, should I be doing this or not? And having someone on your side to let you know what's normal and what's Nacho nuts. There was a recent question on the group, Mary, that said, the seller wants to split the cost of the mailing with me. Is that normal? And I said, yeah, that's normal. I've done it. I bought a practice and split the cost of the mailing. But if they said the seller wants an open-ended contract to work as long as he or she wants in the practice, that's totally not normal.
And that's true. That's very true. There's normal and not normal.
Normal, you just say normal and Nacho nuts, right? So, what's Nacho nuts? Tell us this. How does it working with you? If someone's listening and they go, I have a practice through broker XYZ. They say just sign on the dotted line. They printed out an LOI for me to hand in. They said the numbers are good. If they take a timeout, Philly sports are doing well. If they could time out and connect with you, What does that look like working with you?
It starts with a phone call, honestly, and then we just decide how I can best help them. Usually, I do prefer to start before the letter of intent is provided because it's hard to reduce your offer. I'm not saying
Yeah.
it's impossible. It's been done, right? We all know that, especially if they think you're going to walk away and they really want you to be the purchaser. But it's important to start with me then. I don't know if you're asking what my fees are, but they're very reasonable for the amount of time I put in. But it's best to start with me before the letter of intent. Otherwise, during due diligence, no later than right after the letter of intent and during due diligence.
And I want to share, don't be dentist cheap on your advisors, whether it's a dental focused attorney, buyer coach, because nothing bad happens. Either these advisors say, let's get you going on this practice. It looks good, that you can be confident. And if you spend 5, 10, 15, 20, $25,000 in your advisors, it's worth it. But you know what's even more well worth it, Mary? To spend $25,000 to prevent making the biggest mistake of your life. To spend
That's true.
$25,000, and I know your fee isn't $25,000, but I'm just wrapping in
No.
buyer coach count. It's always worth it
Yeah.
to get advice from people who know what they're doing. So I love what you, Mary. When people text Mary to this number, 215-543-6454, how does that start the process? Do you jump on a phone call? Do you guys do a Zoom call? What do you guys do?
Whichever they prefer, I can do either. But typically it's a phone call because often it's between patients or on their drive, but on their way home from work, on a drive. So it's just whatever's convenient, what works is fine with me. But they just tell me a little of what they're doing, and they ask me a lot of questions about how I work with them, how I help them, how involved I become. If I will work with their CPA and their attorney, which I do, of course,
Yeah.
and I do understand the language of both of those, having been a broker for 9 years prior to all of this. So
I
that's
like
it.
it. And you know the inside. I mean, as we wrap up, trust but verify is no more important than they say. So just because the broker hands you financial reports, trust but verify. Just because the broker says there's contracts with existing employees, trust but verify. Just because the broker says the equipment is all up to date and won't break next week, trust but verify. So I think that should be your tagline. I'm here to help
I
you
like it.
verify that. Well, thanks so much, Mary. Love having you as part of the Nacho community. Have a great rest of the day.
Thank you so much.
So as you guys see, Talking Nachos is designed to help you not make mistakes in the biggest decisions of your life, decrease stress, increase success, and reduce that crying inside. I'm ready for my next guest when my team is ready to be up. Also, Yasin of Group Ups. So Yasin, you are new to the Nacho community. We can't wait to meet you and learn what you do. But if someone said, what's your name and what do you guys do to help dentists be more successful?
Hi, everybody. Yeah, my name is Yasin. We launched Group Ups. And in short, what we do is if you think about what would happen if you went into a car dealership and you said, hey, I'm here to buy a car, you're going to get treated a certain way. What we do is we go into that car dealership and we say, I'm shopping around for 20 cars.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the manager is treating you a certain way. You're getting way better pricing across the board on everything. And they're rolling out the red carpet. That's essentially what we do for our customers at Group Ups. We aggregate the purchasing intent on large purchases to say, hey, there are 15 startups in our network that are all buying CBCT machines, and they want to get better pricing than what they just got quoted by Shine, Benko, and Patterson. So how we go about that is we instead take that intent up front and we say, all right, now we know that there are 15 startups that are opening up in the next quarter. Let's go to the manufacturers directly and maybe go to the distributors at some point. So we actually completely changed the supply chain model, turn it on its head, and we get much better pricing.
I love it. So you fight for deals for you fight for deals for dentists. You know what I always think, Yasin, and I think this is a human being thing, but they go, you know, that thing over there, it's really unfair, but it's just because they don't have access to it. So they say, it's really unfair. DSOs get better pricing. I go, oh, but if you got that pricing, would you be happy? They go, yeah, I'd be really happy. So now
we're proof they would be happy.
Yeah, you have now practices of all sizes. I heard you even said startups can work with you guys. Same question to Mary. So I know this already. Saving money on things is dentist's favorite thing, right? People love saving money. Dentists really love saving money. But us dentists, whether it was back in my days of 2002 before Facebook, people have always come at you with, you can get a deal. This can be a deal. It could have been flyers. Now it's all online. How does this work? I'm a dental practice owner. I want to work with group ups. Walk me through this. How am I paying for it? Where do I sign up? Tell me these details.
Yeah, so I love being able to explain this because doctors tend to love how we get paid. So with the large equipment purchases, what happens with resellers is the distributors that you're used to working with, they make more money the higher the sale price is. So they're incentivized to sell things to you, especially large equipment, for more money. The way we get paid is the more we save you off
I
of
like
that
it.
price, we get a percentage of whatever we save you. So if we save you more money, we make more money. If we
That's
save you
great.
nothing, we make nothing. So we are completely aligned and incentivized. So we go to bat for doctors. We're fighting tooth and nail for the best deals because we get paid more. So we're economically incentivized on the large equipment purchases.
I love that. And dentists, when they sign up, are they paying like a monthly membership fee to you guys, a yearly membership fee? Is it just based on each deal? Walk them through that.
Yeah, so there's two models. One is for the large equipment purchases. So for that part of the supply chain, that's the things that we're negotiating the big discounts on for the large purchases. That's when we find out these are things that are usually planned ahead. So if a doctor is looking to expand their office and they're going to need to completely outfit new rooms and they need new dental chairs, they need new everything, that would fall under the large equipment where the only cost for that is whatever we save you, we take a percentage of the savings. So again, we're
Gotcha.
incentivized to save more. The supply side, the consumables, the ongoing costs, that is a subscription. We take no money from the manufacturers. We do not take kickbacks, under the table payments, or anything like that. It's a subscription. You unlock access to pre-negotiated discounts across the board for supplies where our subscribers are literally saving tens of thousands of dollars per year
Awesome.
on things like payment processing. So we've already pre-negotiated that based on that aggregate buying power. We've grouped that up and gotten those ongoing discounts already. And
So, so
that's
these,
a yearly subscription.
so that seems like such an easy, simple, and fair way to do things. If a few years ago we bought a CBCT, if we had you and you said, "Hey guys, hey Paul, I'm going to save you $9,000," I say, "Great, whatever you take, it's still savings for me." And I just
Mhm.
like to teach our audience something. Why can't you just do this on your own as a solo practitioner? When I say I don't need group ups, I'll just negotiate on my own. I know these answers. I have a few of them, but what are your answers?
I mean, well, one of the unseen costs of this is also the amount of time it takes. So we do actually have a doctor that took 3 months to negotiate for something that he eventually saved $10,000 on for a $75,000 machine. His broker, the distributor, the middleman, they're just middlemen, gave them a certain price. It took 3 months of negotiating, and the doctor wasn't in a rush because it was a new build. It was an expansion of a practice, and he saved $10,000. Great, I mean, great work, right? You saved $10,000. That's awesome. We came in the following week, and we had actually negotiated using three practices that were looking at a very similar machine, and got a steeper discount in 1 week. We
Yeah.
turned it into a $22,000 savings on essentially the same piece of machinery, and it took 2 weeks. And the doctors were all super happy. You know what that original doctor did that spent 3 months to save 10,000?
What
He
do you do?
invested in our company.
That's great. I mean, one of the things I just share this, and this is just, you know, dentists should learn more about this in dental school. Do the things that you know how to do, working on teeth, building your practice, communicating with patients. And whether it's trying to negotiate better insurance fees, better supply fees, all these different things, it's not worth your time. And you're not even good at it. I mean, at the end of the day, you're not good at it. People do this every single day. You do this every day. People do insurance, and it's hard for you. And then the second thing is, not many people pay attention to a one-time purchase for someone. I mean, I'm not saying they never do, but like you said, when you come and say, I have 6 people who want to buy this XYZ thing, they pay attention. Well, I love what you guys are doing. You're making things more fair for the solo practitioner. Do you work with practices of all sizes, from a startup to a group? Or can anyone work with you?
We try to focus on independently owned practices. We don't typically work with DSOs. We don't. We do work with larger independently owned group
Yeah, like
practices that
private
may have.
practice. If you own 2 or 3 practices, a private practice.
Yeah. So we our intention. So not to get into a macroeconomic philosophical discussion, but locally owned businesses are incredibly valuable to local economies. Our goal is to make it easier to build, sustain, and attain business ownership in the US to make those local economies more healthy. And DSOs, let's not say DSOs, non-independently owned businesses in any part of the economy tend to siphon money out of those local economies. So our target market tends to be those dental offices that are good for the local economy that don't yet have those DSO like benefits. We bring that negotiating power to them that DSOs tend to have. We actually do it in some cases better than DSOs.
That's awesome. Well, so glad to have you as a Nacho sponsor. Love what you guys are sharing. People can text groups to 215-543-6454. What do they, as a Nacho member, will they jump on a call with you guys? Do they fill out a form? Just tell us that before we wrap up here.
Yep. So use code Nachos. We will immediately set up an onboard call to walk you through everything, to understand your practice a little better and make sure you're taking advantage of the most valuable things that are offered to you, that are that you unlock through the membership if it's premium on the supplies. But we're always down to chat. So
Awesome.
we have a chat messenger on the bottom right that goes directly to the founders. So you'll probably get a text back from me personally.
Awesome. I love it. And this is the season for sometimes big purchases. People are thinking, I'm going to get that scanner. I'm going to get that CBCT to write off on my taxes. I don't know exactly what that means all the time, Yasin, but it's very popular. People say, don't pay taxes this year. Kick them to the future. So maybe through group ups, you help people get that scanner of their dreams, the CBCT they've been waiting to get. Really appreciate having you here.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. So as you guys can see, don't make a big mistake when buying or selling a practice. Save money on small, medium, and large things inside of your dental practice with group ups. I'm ready for my next guest when you guys are ready to bring them up. So I have one of my awesome friends who's been at Nacho headquarters, Richard William May, from a company named after a healthier fruit than me. Not a more fun fruit, but healthier, mango.
No.
And I want to share that I just got off the phone about 2 hours ago with Kate Kosick, my office manager. And we were joking, and I said, Kate, I encourage you to try these new things, and you don't want to try these new things. And then you try these new things and you like these new things. I go, why don't you just listen to me? And she goes, I probably never listen to you, but I always try it out. And she loves that we have mango in our office. Love you guys being a sponsor. I want to share, just use us. We're two practices, Rich.
Mm-hmm.
We had old school phones. I had to freaking convince my team to try out mango. They now like mango. So what do you guys do to help decrease stress, and how does it work inside of dental offices?
Oh, I mean, every practice owner has to have a very efficient phone system. I mean, the phone system is the gatekeeper to your office, and no matter how far we advance in technology, people are still going to call, and they're still going to have a phone, and you got to have a efficient phone system in place. And that's what Mango Voice is. We're the most integrated VoIP provider in dental, and there's so many great features about Mango Voice. It's hard to pinpoint just one, but just recently, just very top of mind, practices are always trying to run campaigns, marketing campaigns, to try to figure out, how do I get more traction? How do I get more new patients in the office, get more people in the chair, right? And they advertise these numbers. They get numbers, they advertise them, they market them. And there's most of them have no idea how much traction they're actually getting on those numbers. Yeah. And with Mango's system, you can actually go in and do a comparison on your calls, inbound, outbound. This one practice specifically was able to figure out exactly how many calls were coming in on that marketing campaign, so they understand the actual return of investment that they got. So people are spending thousands of dollars on marketing, but they have no idea how much traction they're actually getting on that. And Mango, with a very simple click of the mouse, you can see, is it working or is it not? Is this something I should continue to invest in or not?
And, I like catchphrases, and you're really giving people the data to make decisions, just like,
right.
Trust, not verify, and group ups, get the power of DSO pricing, not being a DSO. It really is give the data to make good decisions. I think marketing in general is this thing dentists can't touch and feel. And dentists they are this word. They're very cheap dentists, right? So they go, I don't need to market anymore. And I go, what if that marketing was bringing you in all these new patients and you don't even know, right? So why don't you truly JFO, just find out and do that? So you guys, Rich, are helping dental practices across the country. Now just break down, someone's watching for the first time, Nachos Mango. They go, okay, I got old phones. I want to change. Just walk us through that process. How does an office change from old school to VoIP? Will Ferrell, there might be time for Bed Bath & Beyond, and that from the to up-to-date stuff.
Yeah, it's a really simple process. I mean, our motto is phones made simple. So we're not going to complicate it for you, and we're not going to make it very hard. simply, reach out to us at mangovoice.com. We'll get you set up on a call and walk you through the steps. But essentially, once you sign up with us, we ship the phones out. You get to keep your same number. You port that number over so you don't have to go through the hassle of changing numbers, right? We do the onboarding, we do the training, we do our own customer support. And we'll have you up and running in a matter of weeks with a brand new phone system that is much more efficient. You get auto attendance, call recordings, the eFax, all of it. Just in a matter of weeks, your office goes from an archaic system to the most upgraded VoIP system in the nation.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been my team's, thrilled they're doing it. You guys bring so much fun to the Dental Nachos community. Before you go, text Mango to 215-543-6454. You guys are always running fun promos. What's happening now? If people text in, are they going to do a consult call? Do they get free mangoes? What happens?
Yeah, no, we're doing all kind. We always do like to have as much fun as we can and offer as much as we can. So right now we're doing a frothy fall promotion. So if you sign up before the end of this month, we're doing a drawing where you could win some free cookies and coffee on us, right?
Oh, nice.
Plus you get 2 free months of service and free phones when you sign up this month. So you text in on this number, you get a hold of us. We'll set up a call with you. We'll reach out and get you signed up and get you the
I
best
love
deal
that.
possible.
Cookies, coffee, 2 free months. Dentist, my people. They love a good free, right? They don't like to give things for free. Very good at receiving them for free. Little bit inconsistent, but that's our people. We went to dental school to be weird. This is who you chose to work with, Richard. So I appreciate you de-weirdifying the dental world, bringing our phones up to date. Can't wait to see you next time you're in Philly. Thanks so much for being on with me.
Yeah. Thanks, Paul.
Awesome, guys. So as you guys see, you can get the phones of the future. They're here now. I had old phones. Now we have the Mango phones. My team was like, we don't need the Mango phones. Now they're like, we like the Mango phones. This is normal in dental offices. It's hard to make changes, but do the things for your practice. Give yourself the data to make good decisions. As we move along here, I'm ready for my next guest. So this is one of my favorite topics because you truly can change lives in the best way. John, share with everyone who you are and what you do to help dentists increase success and decrease stress.
Awesome. Thank you, Paul. Can you guys see me?
Now we're good.
Okay, now we're good.
Your camera's good, yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again for the opportunity. My name is John Nato. I'm the president of Sleep Group Solutions. What we do. What was the line? How do we make dentists not cry?
Yes. How do you make dentists not cry inside?
Well, our business is all built around helping dentists kind of open the doors and pull back the curtain behind the dental sleep medicine problem and the sleep apnea problem that exists everywhere. That's truly an epidemic in our country. This can be a intimidating, confusing minefield to navigate between the diagnostics and the physicians and the medical billing. We have a program in place to kind of hold your hand through all of that and help you succeed with it and really turn it into a business instead of just a little side hobby doing an appliance or 2 here or there.
I mean, that's the part I like. Dental school makes us so strange. They charge hundreds of thousands of dollars and they make us feel weird about charging patients money. It's very dysfunctional, John, right? They're like, don't talk about money. I go, what about all this tuition you're charging? You're talking about money all the time. But this really messes dentists up because you can't stay in business unless you have a healthy business. And wouldn't it be great to make money while having fun and helping people change their lives, whether that's dental implants or sleep? I do want to share that when I heard about sleep apnea, I thought it was a scam. I kept it in my head, but I go, that's just a scam. But then I met this dentist who came to our office and started doing sleep appliances. People were signing up and they were just the impact. I can finally sleep in the same room with my spouse. I'm not such an annoying person every day. And they said, a different word than annoying. I feel much better. And I said, man, Paul, you should have been more open-minded. So what I think has been happening over the past few years, John, and you probably agree, is people are more open-minded, but they're no less confused on how to get started. What is this amazing offer you guys have about really digging in to office by office and getting them trained?
So, I mean, like you said, it's an intimidating thing sometimes to get started and people don't know where to look. So, what we've done and put together specifically for Nachos members is really just bringing an educational program direct to you because, that's where we all started, right? When I started this, I was traveling around the country every weekend doing a 2-day Friday, Saturday seminar in some hotel. Every weekend all year long. And In the post-COVID world, we kind of transitioned away from the big live events as much. But really, we realized how important it is to get the entire team on board, right? And sleep's one of those really cool things where you're going to empower your team. This isn't, this is something that you can really leverage your assistant's time and get a tremendous return out of it, because they can do 99% of the heavy lifting on a case. And then doctors, this is a cool concept. Doctors get to be doctors, not technicians, right? Because as a dentist, you're paid on production, right? You're paid to hunch over, and whatever you're doing, you're getting, there's billable time and procedures. In sleep, it's kind of this cool concept where you're paid to be a doctor, and your time is more consultative instead of manual labor.
I like this. I just want to interject, John. What is I love that you bring this to people's office, right? Because too many times we go to anything. It could be a C event, it could be a fancy gym class, and we go, when I get home, I'm going to do it exactly like that. And when you get home, you do it nothing like that, right? When I get home, I'm going to eat vegetables. Like when I get home, I'm eating tasty cakes at 11 p.m. So, but if someone came to my house and said, put a lock on the tasty cakes, Paul, I probably would do it. So when you come to offices, what's the investment? What does the team cost to have you guys come to the office?
Right. For qualified practices, there's no cost to have us come in. You could submit your info just to verify on that in your office, but there's no cost to have us come in and do an entire up to a day program for your entire team. And that's
awesome.
I think that's really the important thing here is you don't now go to a CE program, because I guarantee you've done this, right? And you come home from the class and you're like, all right, guys, we're doing sleep. And they're like, yeah, no, we're not.
Yeah.
And
because they weren't there. That's part of the problem.
They weren't there, right?
Yeah.
So I think getting the entire team on board and really seeing the need, not only in your patients, but in themselves. If you have a staff of, 4 or 5 or 6 people, I guarantee 1 or 2 of them is, if they're not directly suffering from sleep apnea, their spouses certainly are. So once people can kind of feel it themselves and they really see,
so
the impact
so the dentist blocks off a day. You guys can generally do this at no cost through the power of Nachos. People can text sleep to 215-543-6454. So I would plan to have a full day seminar in office, have your assistants, hygienist, front desk team, and dentist sit there. And what do you guys to go through? Screening, how to get set up for this?
The entire process, right? The entire clinical process, how to have smart conversations with a patient to kind of lead them down this diagnostic path, how to take care of sleep testing and network with physicians the right way, and facilitate the use of home sleep testing technology and things like that to really to have a blueprint and a cookbook for a business, like I said, as opposed to not really knowing where to go. If we understand how to engage people, we understand how to get them diagnosed, we understand how to get them treated, and we understand how to get paid, now it becomes a step-by-step process. That's what we're going to cover.
Love it. Well, you guys have been awesome supporters for a long time. You've done fun things. You've given out sleep apnea machines. I've seen people in Philly, and now we'll come to you to help you in your office. There is a certain just comfort zone for people learning in the place where they dentist every day. So text sleep to 215-543-6454. Hope to see you in person soon, John. Thanks so much for being here.
All right. Thanks, Paul.
Awesome. So before I bring up my next guest, we've had such an awesome time, and I've saved this person for this time to share this, because you know what bothers me? People say there's no such thing as a free lunch. And I say, that's a lie. I get free lunches. Sometimes I just buy my team chicken noodle soup at Dental Nachos. It's free. They got a free lunch. The other statement, can you make money for doing nothing? The answer to that is 100% yes. So I'm ready for my next guest to share with us a classic way, a tale as old as dentisting time you can bring up, is how you can make money for literally doing nothing. So this is your first time on, Jim. So share with us your name, who you work for, and how you help dentists make money for literally doing nothing.
Yeah, I'm Jim Belshie. I'm with Core Scientific Precious Metal Refinery. So we're a big, stinky refinery in Chicago. And what we do is we process the dentist scrap and send checks in the mail. That's basically how we.
Hold on, it sounds good. What does this cost the dentist?
Well, we charge a 5% processing fee, which is standard in our industry, but most people don't know it. I mean, 95% of the dentists that are out there, what they're doing is some guy comes into the office and he waves a bunch of cash around and pays $200 to $500 for whatever you have in the jar and leaves. And then what you don't realize is he sells it to us, directly. That cash person, they'll come to an actual refinery and not a refining company, not a jeweler. He'll take that and he'll sell it to a refinery. We're the in stop. We take the material, we break it down into its pure form, and we sell it onto the market. And so that's what that person is doing. And by the way, they're paying you about 10% of what it's worth. So typically those little jars that are in the office, about a half of one of our size jars is, a couple $1,000s. And those full jars can be worth anywhere from $4,000 to $7,000, just depending on the material. I had a jar that was about 3/4 full last week that was around $6,000. So
I mean, I love this because I don't even know, it's very expensive to run a dental practice. So when we can get some wins for ourselves from the PFMs, what can go in there? PFM, Gold Crown.
And that's a great question. I was at a small little study club the other day, and this doctor said, I haven't seen metal in years. And I said, when's the last time you removed a PFM? And he said, today. And I said, what'd you do with it? Threw it in the red bag waste, right? And those PFMs, most of them are made with a palladium alloy, and palladium is worth more than gold. That's why people are stealing.
So you got to talk dentist though, Jim. Next
right?
time they do that, say, you just threw away your free sandwich at lunch, because dentists love free. And they go, oh man, I'm not going to throw away my free sandwich. So that's what they did. I mean, that was the free lunch he just tossed in the red bag, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and that happens all the time. So there's, you'd be surprised at how often offices are just saving the gold crowns and not the PFMs. I'll get calls from doctors. I'll go and when I see their material come in, it'll be a quarter jar of nothing but gold. And so the first call I make to them is, hey, why aren't you saving your PFMs? And that when I talk about the value of a jar, that's no gold crowns in there. If that's just PFMs. It's super valuable, and dentists really need to save those.
Awesome. Well, there's in a way that now some dentists, they like making money, and by some dentists I mean every single dentist. But then other people, they like this other thing. And I think it is cool. What do you guys do? What's the feel good factor for doing this, right? What's the environmental factor where you go, okay, I also want Earth to be around for my kids. So what's the feel good factor?
Yeah, just Google what a gold mine looks like. Google what a mining operation does, particularly in Africa or South America, where a lot of these operations are. It's just a nasty, destructive business. And so it really, they call it precious metal for a reason. If you see the destruction that happens just to mine a few ounces of gold. I don't know if you've watched Gold Rush on TV. That's a great example. You can watch all this stuff that these guys tear up just to get, a little bit of gold in their jar. And so that's really what we want to do. We want to save the environment and bring this. And not only that, you think of all the fuel that's expended and everything that goes into that production. That's what we want to
I love that. Here's your tagline: free fancy sandwiches and saving the environment. Text scrap to 215-543-6454. And then in all joking aside, I remember I worked with my dad for many years, even before I was a dentist, sadly passed away a few years ago. But I remember, him saving the stuff, getting a couple $100, always being a thing. Maybe you have a staff team party, but, there's not that many little fun wins in dentistry. So just kind of saving stuff you cut out a patient's mouth. And now, I don't know if you're seeing this, but I really love implants. And implants are at the end of a dental life cycle of a lot of times these big crown and bridge cases. So could be cutting off many PFM crowns at times to transition them to implants.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, so a lot of places that specialize in that type of work have a ton of scrap for that very reason.
And that's also now, also the other thing is dentists know this, like we often will think we're going to maintain a tooth. We're not so sure. We do this, then we wind up cutting off the crown and do this. So there's just the cutting off of the existing dental work on the aging population is just a common theme in dentistry. And I'm glad you guys are getting people to get extra dollars for their practice, saving the environment. When they text us in, they just get a jar and they put out the jar. Is that as simple as the onboarding process goes?
Yeah, I mean, basically, if you're not saving it, we can send you a jar to save it in. You can really, I mean, some people save it in sterilization bags, throw it in a drawer. It's however you want to do it. We're a refinery. We're not going to dig through the stuff like your cash buyer does. So we don't care if it comes in, bloody in a jar. I mean, you should see some of the stuff people send to us. So that's the nice thing is you don't have to take a ton of time because you're just going to send that to us. But yeah, that's all there is to it. When they contact us, what we do is we email you a FedEx label. We actually will schedule FedEx to come into your office, pick it up. It sends it to our refinery, and then we send you a check. Now, a lot of dentists are doing little programs like you mentioned with your staff. And what my friend did, and this is what I recommend to dentists to do, is he went and asked his staff, how much did the cash guy pay you a year? And they would say, oh, we get about $300-400. So he says, great, I'm going to give you that $300-400, but you guys save this and I'm going to give it to my friend Jim. So he shipped it to me. He gave his staff the $400 and, unbeknownst to them, he got about $3,500.
Yeah,
and
look at that.
They were happy. He was happy. He went to Spain on vacation and it was all welded in well. And so that's what I recommend. If you're doing a split with them, continue to do the split, but just pay them what they're used to, and then you can have that money and reinvest it in your practice. There's a ton of things.
I love it. Making people happy. Well, so glad to have you as a Nacho sponsor and community supporter. Thanks for being part of what we do, Jim. Really enjoyed talking with you today.
Thank you.
Awesome, guys. So you see so many great toppings in our fun, fantastic Talking Nachos show. You can bring Jim down, and I'll just wrap us up here. So what we'll do next is I just want to bring up our Job Connect text code. And want to remind you guys, if this is the season to hire an associate for your practice to share in the joy of full contact arts and crafts, on people that don't want to be there, that's dentisting, text hire to 215-798-9897. Thanks for being with us.